Before colonial borders, ZAZZAU rose from the savannah like a fortress. It was a Hausa kingdom of traders, farmers, and warriors. Its markets hummed with merchants and goods from across the Sahara. Salt from the desert, leather from the north, stories everywhere. At the heart stood the royal palace of the Hausa court. A place where power was spoken quietly, but carried heavily. Queen Bakwa Turunku ruled ZAZZAU with wisdom and steady hands. But her daughter would one day eclipse even her mother's legend. Her name was AMINA. She refused to be ordinary from childhood. While other children played, AMINA watched warriors and memorized their steps. She was told a princess had other duties. She disagreed. Her mother saw the fire, and wisely did not extinguish it. So AMINA learned to ride astride, like a warrior, not a lady. She took to the horse as if born on its back. She practiced the sword until her arms ached and hands blistered. She learned that strength was built, not given. Soon she could hold her own against warriors twice her age. The council worried. A warrior princess was unusual, some objected. AMINA listened from the shadows, and heard her future debated by men. Her mother protected her path. A queen must be strong in spirit. AMINA looked beyond the walls, at a world waiting to be shaped. Then the world came to ZAZZAU in tired traders and troubling news. The roads were no longer safe, raiders grew bold. AMINA listened. Something shifted, training was ending, action was beginning. The council gathered to discuss raiders threatening the trade routes. The elder traced the roads where caravans had been attacked and lost. Each route led to danger, each season brought new losses. Queen Bakwa listened, then she asked a question that silenced the room. "Where is my daughter?" The room turned toward the door. AMINA stepped forward, the elders shifted, the warriors watched. "Give me the riders, I will clear the roads myself." Some laughed, others saw something in her eyes and grew silent. Her mother stood, the room fell completely silent. She nodded once, the queen had given her blessing. AMINA walked out not as a princess asking permission, but as a leader. That night she prepared. Dawn would bring the first test of her life. Before dawn painted the sky, the city stirred. AMINA mounted her horse in silence, no speeches, no ceremony. Warriors gathered behind her, some believed, some were simply loyal. Spears were checked, shields were strapped, breath hung in the air. The gates groaned open, beyond them lay the unknown. AMINA led the way, a dark silhouette against the rising sun. The riders moved like one living thing, fast, focused, silent. They crossed rivers and open plains guided by scouts. AMINA's eyes never stopped moving. A leader sees everything. Scouts returned, the raiders were close. AMINA raised her hand, the column halted, silence fell completely. She divided her forces, half would circle wide, the rest followed her. Ahead, the raiders' camp sat in false confidence and comfort. AMINA drew her sword, the metal caught the morning light perfectly. She charged, her warriors followed without hesitation. Behind her, the riders erupted like a sudden storm. The raiders had no warning and no time to prepare. The first crash of battle echoed across the open plain. AMINA cut through the enemy line like a blade through cloth. Then the second wave struck from the flank, the trap closed. The raiders broke, some fled, many would not return to the roads. Amina sat watching the dust settle over her first great victory. Her warriors cheered, she only nodded, there was more to do. One battle won, but a kingdom is not built on one victory alone. She returned to Zazzau not as a princess, but as a proven warrior. The city opened its gates wide, the people had heard of her victory. Her mother waited at the palace, standing tall and proud. Amina bowed, her mother embraced her, the kingdom had found its future. The council no longer laughed, now they listened closely. Amina showed them a map and a vision, not defense, expansion. The elder nodded. The kingdom needed more than walls, it needed room. Within weeks she rode out again with even more warriors behind her. Town after town fell to her strategy, speed and precision. Local leaders submitted, some became allies, others became lessons. Zazzau's boundaries stretched further than any queen had ever dreamed possible. Amina stood on new hills and claimed new horizons for her people. But Amina knew that conquest without building was only delayed destruction. She drew in the dirt, not battle plans, city plans. She gathered builders, not soldiers. The next phase would be carved in mud. They dug earth, mixed clay, and shaped bricks with their hands. Brick by brick, the walls of a stronger Zazzau began to rise. Amina worked beside her people, hands covered in clay and dirt. The wall rose steadily, as if the earth responded to her will. Watchtowers followed, each one guarded the roads. Gates rose stronger than before, trade could flow safely again. Caravans returned, merchants walked the roads with confidence once more. Amina walked her wall and saw what she built, but she was not finished. By torchlight she planned, the wall was not the end, it was foundation. Zazzau became a beacon, traders came from distant lands, the kingdom prospered. Weavers, dyers, leather workers, and metalsmiths filled the markets with craft. Amina walked among her people. She knew their names and trades. A queen who knelt to a child was a queen who understood her people. In the council, her word became law through respect, not fear. Other kingdoms sent ambassadors to negotiate trade and pay homage. Amina received them with grace and steel. She mastered diplomacy too. Gold, cloth, and promises flowed into Zazzau. She valued loyalty above all. She dug wells and built markets, so prosperity reached every home. Children played where once there was only fear. Women drew water safely. The map grew until Zazzau was no longer just a city, it was power. From her balcony, Amina watched sunset over a kingdom she had built. Around fires, storytellers began to speak her name. Children heard of the queen who rode like a storm and built walls. They told of her battles, her walls, her flying horse. Travelers carried her story across the savannah faster than any army. Songs were composed in her honor. Her name became chorus. Amina heard her own name sung by strangers. She smiled quietly. Grandmothers told their grandchildren, "A queen built those walls so you sleep safely." Little girls picked up sticks and called themselves Amina. A new generation dreamed. Years passed. Amina grew older, but her spirit remained unbroken, riding with her pride and vision. She trained the next generation of warriors to guard Zazzau after her. She became an elder of the council and the soul of Zazzau. At the end, she stood where she began, on the wall, looking outward. When Amina passed, Zazzau did not fall. She had built it to last. The people mourned, the kingdom wept, her walls remained. Her walls, her roads, her vision all outlived her. The trade routes she secured carried goods for generations after her. Children played in her wall's shadow, never knowing the fear she erased. The storytellers never stopped. Her name passed from fire to fire, century to century. Historians recorded her, but the people already carved her in memory. Some say on certain sunsets you can still see a rider on the ridge. Northern Nigeria remembers her. Zazzau, now Zaria, carries her spirit. Statues have been raised, schools named. Her true monument is the idea itself. Today, a young girl in Nigeria can see a queen who refused all limits. Queen Amina of Zazzau, warrior, builder, legend. Her story is what is possible. If you enjoy this story, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share. See you in our next story.